Hello everybody, my name is Faethodas. In this video I'm going to show you a new build I'm working on the last few days. It is not complete yet, but it is almost there. The only thing missing from this build is some items and some set items. Well, let's start from the items. The name of the build is Great Alexander. I gave this name to this build because the build is based on the legendary set Alexander's Panoply. This set consists of 6 items. It is a 6-piece set, and currently I possess only 2 of them. But as may some of you already have seen, I created a video about the bonuses of this specific set, and in that video we can see all sex is forbidden here, the 6 pieces of the set and all the bonuses it provides. Just to make things clear, that video was created by using a mod of Titan Quest in which I had instant access to all set pieces. But this build I'm going to show you here is created in the normal game of Titan Quest. So in the normal game I found only 2 of those items, and I'm going to show you the build with those 2 items. But if you want, you can watch that video with the bonuses anytime. I will provide a link to this video just in case you desire to watch it sometime. So now, this build is all about physical damage and piercing damage, and also bleeding damage, but not so much bleeding damage anyway. The items of this set give bonuses to some skills of 2 specific masteries, the defense mastery and the hunting mastery. Thus this build uses these 2 masteries, and the class of the combination of those masteries is Warden class. Let's start with the defense mastery. The first mastery I chose to begin this build with is the defense mastery. This build is heavily based on dealing physical damage, especially by using the shield. For this reason, I maxed out all the shield techniques on this mastery, and those techniques are offensive skills that use the shield as a weapon, of course. The offensive skills are the Shield Smash, which uses both the shield and the weapon to deal damage, the Disable, which is a shield technique, and the Pulverize, which is also a shield technique. This skill, Pulverize, is one of the skills that getting a big boost by the items of this specific set, so it is a mandatory skill to develop and use. Of course, when this build is starting to be developed, the first skill points the hero gains are going to max out immediately the armor handling skill. This skill reduces the strength requirements for items, so it helps very much on equipping stronger items faster than normal. The next important skill is of course the Batter skill. This is also a shield attack skill, and also it is one of the skills that the set items are boosting. We max out this skill, no doubt about it. Also, this is one of my favorite skills in the world of action RPG games. It simply rocks. This Batter skill can be further developed by one more skill, the red armor, which reduces the armor of the monsters. I chose not to invest many points on this skill because there are many other skills I would like to develop, so I put only one skill point here, and then I let the skill based items add some more levels on this skill. Exactly the same thinking went to this skill also, Shield Charge, and its add-on Disruption skill. The Disruption is doing exactly that. It disrupts the attacks of the enemies when they are hit by the Shield Charge. So I put only one skill point and the rest comes from skill based items. But its basic skill, Shield Charge, is getting maxed out as soon as possible. It is a mandatory skill for both better mobility and more damage. Now, for the defensive skills of this mastery. We max out the Quick Recovery skill. When maxed out, this skill gives minus 74% shield recovery time, which is very good if we think that also both the shield of this set and the set bonus of this set are giving a bonus to shield block, which in combination with the skill it makes our hero truly a tank. Of course, this skill is also giving us shield block bonus to complement the power of a tanker and armor absorption too. Our next defensive skill is Battle Awareness. This one boosts our armor and defensive ability. It is not important to max it out fast, but it would be great to max out the two skills attached to it. The Focus skill, which boosts our shield block even further, and the Iron Will, which is a powerful skill for increased resistances and reduced durations to various effects of the attacks of enemies. Finally, in this mastery, we put some skill points to the Adrenaline skill. This skill is a nice one, but it is not very useful for the first difficulty level of the game if we have some good items equipped. Of course, we try to max out the two skills attached to it, the Resilience skill, which reduces the cooldown of Adrenaline, so it can be used sooner, more times, and the Defensive Reaction skill, which boosts the attack speed and the physical damage we deal when it is activated. Now let's see the skills of the Hunting Mastery, but before we do that, let me drink some water. Please. Awesome. The first skill we should try to max out is the Wood Lore. It boosts our defensive ability and our attack speed, which we need to be as fast as possible, because in this build we are using a spear and a bow, and neither of these items is the fastest in the game. On the defensive side of this mastery, we max out the Herbal Remedy skill. It gives health regeneration and a huge boost to poison resistance. Yeah! The next skill to be maxed out is the Takedown skill. This skill is attached to a second one, which is called Eviscerate, which we also max out. Takedown is a mobility skill. It makes our hero run on plus 300% speed to the enemy and hit him while dealing piercing damage and reducing the enemy's health, and the Eviscerate skill adds bleeding damage to the Takedown skill. Since we are talking about bleeding, We max out the gouge skill or good skill. I don't know how this word is pronounced correctly. Anyway, it is the same skill no matter how you call it. And this skill has a chance to be activated, and it deals big amounts of bleeding damage to the enemies. Our next skill to max out is the volley skill. This skill gets boosted by the spear item of the Alexander's Panoply set. It is a nice addition to the offensive techniques of this build. As an effect, it has a chance to triple the attacks of our bow or spear. Our next skill to max out is the Call of the Hand and its add-on, Exploit Weakness. While Exploit Weakness adds pierce and bleeding damage to the Call of the Hand, the latter adds attack speed, bleeding damage and more damage to beasts and beastmen when we activate it. So Wolverine, be careful. This is a powerful combination of skills, and this is why it has a big cooldown, and for this reason we use it only in tough fights and in boss fights because of the big cooldown of this skill. Last but not least, we put some points to the Art of the Hand skill, which increases our pierce and bleeding damage and the damage we deal to beasts and beastmen. This is a skill which we activate once, and it is always activated. It works like an aura, though it is not an aura. Of course, it's a good idea to invest points to the two skills attached to it. The Find Cover skill, which make us avoid more projectiles, and the Trail Blazing, which increases our movement speed and makes us immune to the traps that stop our movement. I haven't put any points in those two skills yet, as you can see here, but I will do that in the future. I am still level 58, so I still have a way to go. Now let's see the items of this build. We will start from jewels and then move on to the other items. Crest of Murong, a ring which has many types of resistances, plus bonus points to health and energy, and also offensive and defensive ability. This ring is subject to be replaced with a better one in the future. Chiron's Loop, a nice ring which complements this build very well. It has dexterity bonus, a chance to dodge attacks, pierce and poison resistance, bonus to energy points and defensive ability, and health regeneration. Also, it grants the Ensnare skill, which I don't use at all. Also, this Ensnare skill is a skill of the Hunting Mastery, but I don't use it at all. Amulet of Hygeia. This amulet is all about resistances. It has many types of resistances, bonus to health points and health regeneration, and protection from skill disruption. This is a very nice amulet, and I think I will stick to it, unless of course I can find a much better one. Now for the artifact. This is called Heart of Earth. This one is boosting my average damage. It gives a bit of fire damage, fire resistance, more armor and health regeneration, and a small boost to my defensive ability, which is always nice to have. It also grants the skill Flame Strike, which calls down meteors from the sky and kick the butts of our enemies. But it has a long cooldown, so it does not get activated very often, but when it does, it helps a lot. Of course, there is a completion bonus to this artifact, which gives health regeneration, energy leech resistance and stun resistance. This bonus is random though, it doesn't come as a standard to this artifact, and this artifact is subject to be replaced with a better one in the future if I can find something better for this build. Now we come to the core of the build, the 6 items of Alexander's Panoply set. As I already said in the beginning of this video, this build is created based on the Alexander's Panoply legendary set. This set consists of 6 items: head armor, hands armor, leg armor, chest armor, a shield and a spear. But in the normal game I have found only 2 of the 6 pieces of this set, so currently I'm using 2 of the set and 4 other items irrelevant to the set I try to complete. The items of the set I have for now is the chest armor, which is Alexander's Cuirass, and the shield, which is called Alexander's Pelta. This chest armor gives +2 to all skill levels among other goodies, and it is very powerful to use. Also a good chance to avoid projectiles, a boost to offensive and defensive ability, a bonus to strength points and some resistances. Also a nice bonus to the duration of bleeding damage. The Alexander's Pelta is a shield which gives reduction to bleeding and poison duration, bonus to strength points, a bonus to shield block and defensive ability, and the most important, it gives +3 skill levels to the skill Pulverize. This skill is one of the offensive shield techniques which we max out for this build, and it belongs to the defense mastery. What I have left to find to complete my build item wise is these 4 items: the helm, hand armor, leg armor and spear of the Alexander's set. Currently I use a green helm which gives a nice bonus to vitality damage resistance, a health point regeneration, a big boost to my health points and +1 to all skill levels. This is a powerful green helm and it helps a lot until I find the helm of this set I'm trying to build. I have enchanted this helm with a completed relic which gives me a boost to dexterity and movement speed. As for hands armor, I use Stonebinder Scuffs. This is one of the best monster infrequent items in the game. This item gives health regeneration, fire and elemental resistance, and the best of all, it gives +2 to all skill levels. This is a huge boost, and I have enchanted this item with a completed relic which grants bonus to dexterity and defensive ability for more damage and defense. The legs armor I currently use is the Athena's Battle Greaves. This is a very nice item which complements this build nicely. It gives fire, cold and poison resistances, a bonus to physical damage, bonus to strength and health points, also a bonus to defensive ability, a big boost to movement speed, which is very important for this build. Of course, this item is only a substitute for the Alexander's set item, which I haven't found yet. And the last but not least, the spear. Again, I need to find Alexander's spear to complete the set of this build, but until I find it, this spear is possibly the best alternative spear for this specific build. Hector's spear. This spear belongs to another set which is called Hector's bronze armor, and it grants bonus to physical and pierce damage, bonus to strength and dexterity points, bonus to health points and defensive ability, and the most important, +2 to the batter skill and +2 to the takedown skill levels. Actually, this spear complements this build in a perfect way, because it boosts 2 skills that each one of them belong to each one of the masteries this build is using, and also both these skills are main skills of this build. So this is a perfect match. But the point of this build is to have the Alexander's panoply set complete. This is why this spear will be replaced by Alexander's spear when I finally find that spear. Oh, I almost forgot. There is one more item to use here. It's the secondary weapon. For this one we use the best bow we can get, but I rarely use my bow and I don't pay too much attention to the details around it. So that's all for the bow. Now, if you would like to try this build, the distribution of the attribute points should be almost equal to strength and dexterity points, with a small advantage to strength attribute, because the physical damage is more used in this build than the piercing or bleeding damage, and most attacks of our hero come from the shield techniques. Well, that's it guys. Some days ago I uploaded 2 videos. One is a small guide which shows the bonuses of the full set of Alexander's panoply. You can watch it if you want to see the details of this set and where this build is headed to. And one video is a guide to skill distribution. In that video I use as an example this build you see here, and if you watch that video you will see more details of how I distribute the skill points in this specific build, while I use the skill based items that you saw in this build guide. I hope that makes sense somehow, and I hope you did not get tired or bored by all this talking in this video. And well, I will continue the development of this build, and when I find all the set items and the build is finally completed, I will upload an updated version so you can see its final form, the build's final form. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Many of Titan Quest videos are coming on this channel, and also there are videos coming from other games too, like Grim Dawn, Diablo franchise and many others. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye 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 bye. Bye.